Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New coming at you on this bright Monday morning, Memorial Day. I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend, has a chance to spend time with your loved ones and your family, maybe had a chance to barbecue, eat good, or whatever it was that you did. I hope you enjoyed it. And for those of you who are off today, I hope you enjoyed that time as well. And also, of course, man, shouts out to all the veterans, ones who actively served before in the past and actively serving now. And of course, rest in peace and love to anybody who gave the ultimate sacrifice and giving their life while performing the services and duties of their country. So with all that being said and getting that out the way, we know it was a very interesting past couple of days in the association, and there's a lot of things we can talk about. But of course, the main thing that I'm sure is on everybody's mind who tunes into this channel and everybody out there who has concerns about the Lakers is that of the Los Angeles Lakers. So as we all know, the Lakers took on the Phoenix Suns on yesterday. And if you were like me and probably most of everybody else who was watching the series, you knew that the Lakers were going to go up 3-1. It's going to be an easy series. Chris Paul been looking bad. The Lakers having fun. But I tell you what, though, sometimes, and I'm just being honest, y'all, you got to humble yourself to be exalted. And I know this is just sports, but, you know, the Lakers got beside themselves a little bit with LeBron rocking the baby on Crowder and, you know, drumming and everybody having fun on the sideline. Because one thing I'm going to tell y'all about life is, as soon as you up here, you could be right back down here. You understand what I'm saying? Because I've been here, and I mean, it can happen within the blink of an eye. You know, you could be doing real good, making a lot of money, then all of a sudden you laid off, company closed, and then what you got? You know, you back at minimum wage. I mean, I've been through that. So at the end of the day, never get too high. And hopefully this is a humbling experience for the Lakers, because I know a lot of people are worried, but me, myself, I'm still not worried about the Lakers, AD or no AD. And I know people are gonna say, "B New, you crazy, man. You think LeBron this and you think LeBron that, and he's 36 years old and blah, blah, blah." Listen, there are some teams within the series that the Lakers are capable of beating without Anthony Davis. And I can tell you all of those teams, but I'm not gonna get too much into that at this very moment. But just know this: the Lakers, as poorly as they played yesterday, as poorly as Anthony Davis played up until the moment that he was injured, the Lakers were, I want to say, up double digits at one point in the first half before giving up the lead going into the second half, into the end of the quarter. So, you know, the Lakers definitely have a chance to win. They were losing by, I want to say 18 points in that fourth quarter. They were losing by 18 points in that fourth quarter, and they got down and got it all the way down to 5 points, as we all know. And that was because of the lineups and Frank Vogel actually putting a few wrinkles in not the offense, but in his actual smooth-ass brain that he has by allowing Marc Gasol to play center. And that's no knock against Drummond, but when you play certain teams, you have to line up accordingly in order to beat those teams. And right now, you know, with the Lakers suffering from injury, not only to Anthony Davis, I knew the hit to KCP was going to be big too, because a lot of people say, well, KCP hadn't been hitting threes, but you just never know when KCP might get hot and start hitting those threes, for one. And for two, KCP was doing an excellent job defending Devin Booker. But I will say this: Wesley Matthews, although he has become a poor shooter, he has been playing great defense in the absence of KCP on Devin Booker. And if you look at the Phoenix Suns yesterday, nobody had over 20 points. Devin Booker only had 17 points. But the thing is, all of their starters were in double digits. All of them had 15 to 17 points. Even their bench players, they had 6 or 7 players that had double-digit points. And the Lakers, on the other hand, had starters that were in single-digit points who did not come out ready to play. But with all this being said, the Phoenix Suns, they play more of a traditional basketball, and they've been successful with that. So I don't understand why the Lakers are getting into acting like they Golden State or whoever by shooting 43-pointers. There's absolutely no need for the Lakers to put up that many threes, especially when you don't have great three-point shooters on the team, because Kyle Kuzma, you are not. Wesley Matthews, you are not. Now, you're capable of hitting them, don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about men lie, women lie, and numbers don't lie. And the numbers and your percentages tell me that you're not a very accurate three-point shooter. So stop jacking it up. Use your length and athleticism to get to the basket. So now I will tell you this. The Lakers can lose these games. The Lakers could lose the next 2 games without Anthony Davis if Frank Vogel doesn't play if he doesn't line up the way he needs to line up. And this might sound crazy to you all, but I'm just telling you right now, Marc Gasol needs to be the starter. Maybe not going forward, but he definitely needs to be the starter for this series. And I'm thinking that Frank Vogel may just go ahead and do that. He might start Drummond because he don't want to hurt his feelings and then hurry up and get Gasol in there. But the thing about it is, Drummond is not really defending Ayton that well. And I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that Marc Gasol is stopping Ayton. But what Marc Gasol is doing on the offensive end is bringing Ayton out of that paint by stretching him out, because Marc Gasol doesn't play in the paint on the offensive end. He doesn't go down and post you up on the block. He doesn't go down to get rebounds. Marc Gasol comes out to the top of the key and he facilitates. He comes out to the top of the key and he sets screens. He comes out to the top of the three and he's capable of hitting threes. And that's something that Drummond cannot do. He cannot spread the floor and he cannot do that. And as you can see, when the Lakers were down by 17 or 18, it was the lineup with Marc Gasol in as center that allowed the Lakers to come back. Marc did have an unfortunate turnover at the top of the key when they were on that run where Chris Paul had a hell of a steal because he anticipated the pass where they maybe could have cut it to under 5 points then. So it's hard when you're down by 17 or 18 and to come back. Now, if you was down by 17 or 18 in the second quarter and came back, but you got to realize they were down by 15 or 16 most of the fourth quarter. So to fight and scratch and claw and get back into the game, and I know a lot of people giving LeBron James hell because Schroeder, missed that shot that would have cut it to 5. Then LeBron didn't get back down court and they hit the 3. But at this point, LeBron is exasperated. He's giving his all and everything. And I know, he's not Jordan, and Jordan would have never gave up. Like, you don't know. Did Jordan ever have a teammate who missed a point blank layup in the middle of a comeback of an important game? I doubt it. And if he did, he'd probably be cussing their ass out and going off on them, calling them a hoe. So at least LeBron didn't do that. Because I'm telling you, Kobe probably would have choked the hell out of Schroeder. That's what I'm telling you. But at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. Nobody needs to get too over amped up about it and think that the Lakers are not going to win this series, because although I was not expecting AD to go down, I did lose some straight up money on the game. I'm not going to lie. But at the end of the day, hey, you can't win them all. You can't not win them all. That's why I don't get too into it with my feelings or anything like that, and neither should you. But what I'm telling you all is, Frank Vogel, if KCP is still injured, which KCP is day-to-day with the quad contusion, the MRI was negative on his knee, so he didn't have any structural damage to his knee. It was just more contusion to the thigh, which I understand could be sore. But in these type of games, when you're back against the wall, sometimes you just got to put yourself out there. He may not play this game. Maybe he'll come back and play Thursday. But the thing about it is, from this point out, it's all about you playing every other day. You're going to be playing every other day, so it's not much time to rest. So if you realize this, I don't know if everybody realized this, but the Phoenix Suns have shortened their rotation to basically an 8-man rotation. At first, they were playing Saric in the series. He got a DNP yesterday because they think they figured out something. And what they're doing is they're just only going 8 deep, with Cameron Payne and what's that other Cameron guy? You know what I'm talking about? Those two. So basically, the Lakers have been playing a lot more deep, but I think what the Lakers need to do ultimately to win this series, they don't really have to shorten their rotation to 8 without Anthony Davis, but hopefully the coach is smart enough to see that Ayton is playing a lot of minutes. I want to say Ayton played like 38 minutes. So you're talking about all but 10 minutes of the game, you have Ayton in there. Well, that's how you bring in fresh bodies on Ayton to be able to slow him down and just play Marc Gasol and draw him out. So basically, I think the Lakers, starting lineup really should be Dennis Schroeder. Which, speaking of Dennis Schroeder, he did not have a great game at all. You got to think Dennis Schroeder had 2 or 3 points yesterday, and he's been giving you good points, and the Lakers were right there in the game. So if he didn't blow that layup and a couple other shots, and you're talking about the Lakers could have won that game without Anthony Davis and been up 3-1 and ready to go ahead and take them out. But at the end of the day, LeBron James is going to have to shoulder a hell of a weight, which he said he is ready to do, to put on his shoulders, and I think he's totally capable of doing it. But you're going to have to play a lot different, and you're going to have to make LeBron James more of a facilitator of the ball, and that's why it's very important to have Marc Gasol on the floor with the LeBron James, because he is going to help bring people out of the paint. Because, like I said, Phoenix plays traditional basketball with a power forward and a center that doesn't shoot threes. So if you can get Marc Gasol in the lineup matched up on Ayton, you're going to bring Ayton out of the paint, and now all of a sudden you have a driving lane for LeBron to drive to the basket, and you don't have a rim protector there where LeBron can beat his man off the dribble. And then if they come for the weak side help, then LeBron James is more than capable of passing the ball to the open man for the three. And I was good to see Ben McLemore get some early looks, because he's going to need some time. You're going to need a capable three-point shooter in there. So basically, what the starting lineup needs to look like, it needs to be Schroeder as your point guard, and he needs to play well. Wesley Matthews as your two guard. Let him come in if KCP is unavailable, of course. If KCP is available, then of course you're going to go with KCP. But if KCP is unavailable, then you put Matthews in, because Matthews been doing a hell of a job defensively on Booker. He can limit him as much as he can, and if he can make a couple of timely threes, then that would be good. But if not, we know what he can do and what he's capable of on defense. And then, as much as I hate to say this, I would probably put Markieff Morris in there over Kuzma, because I just really don't understand what Kuzma is doing at this point. But if you decide to put Kuzma in as your starter, I would put him in as that 3 spot between him and Morris, which I know a lot of people say they play the 4 spot, but it's interchangeable as far as the front court, the way they play spread out as far as their wings go. But I would say I would put Markieff Morris in there and give him a chance, because I think Kuzma, while he crashes the board well, I think Morris is going to give you a little bit more grit on the defensive end. And if he can ever get hot, which he's been terrible for 3, I know, but I don't think he's the type who's going to shy away from the big moment, and I think he deserves the opportunity. So I know I've been down on him most of the year, but at the end of the day, that you got to go with what you have, because if not, then you got to go with Kuz. So either way, that's interchangeable. But the thing about it is, both of them will be able to guard Bridges, and Bridges has been having a good series too. But I think Markieff and Kuz could do a great job. Kuz actually being the taller of the two, being able to make Bridges work a little bit more for his shot. But at the end of the day, then of course you put LeBron in that 4 spot, and then you have a stretch 4 with LeBron playing the 4 on the offensive end. Then that's going to also stretch the floor for them and let them be able to pass the ball around the key and get open looks for everybody else. And then of course you got Marc Gasol in there with LeBron. So when you have Schroeder, Matthews, Morris, LeBron, and Gasol as your starters, then you have 5 players who are all capable of shooting the 3. Even though Wes Matthews and Morris have not been good at it, Gasol's been shooting at a high clip from 3. LeBron, he hits 3s when he needs to. He's shooting 35 to 40% from 3. And then of course, Dennis Schroeder, he's more than capable of hitting 3s. But also the thing about it is he's capable of creating his own shot, and so is LeBron. So then you have a couple of, you got floor spacing, and you have people that's capable of hitting their own shot. And meanwhile, these minutes are going to start to add up to the Phoenix Suns, even though I know they are the younger team. But when you got Ayton playing 38 minutes a game and they playing every other game, then that's going to make them a little bit tired. I think when it comes to this, and especially if you're using 2 bodies like Drummond and Gasol to wear him out a little bit, because then if that's your starting lineup with Schroeder, Matthews, Morris, LeBron James, and Gasol, then you can come in with Caruso to back up Schroeder. That way Caruso can still give you offense and a floor spacer and somebody capable of creating their own shot and somebody that's capable of getting others involved. And then, Lord have mercy, can we finally, I hate to see AD get injured like that, but maybe we can see a resurgence of THT, because yesterday we could have used THT. Could have used THT to on the offensive end, and I mean, I think he would be a great fit to come in and back up Matthews if KCP is still hurt, because then you're still keeping offense on the floor. And he's not much of a defensive liability. He's not a great defender, but at the end of the day, he's gonna field passing lanes as much as he can and stick to his man the best that he can. So I would bring in THT to back up Matthews, and then of course Morris, you can bring in Kuzma to back up Morris. You can interchange those two, just depending on which one of them having a good game. Now, if Kuzma actually having a good game, then roll with him. If Morris having a good game, then roll with him. You know, when they need a breather, then interchange those two. And then of course, for the power forward spot, since Phoenix does play so traditional and they're only going 8 deep, then bring in Montrez for LeBron. Even though you want to get LeBron and Trez some minutes together, because LeBron is capable of getting Trez some easy looks, but at the end of the day, you can counter stack it, a little bit during the game. But I would say still bring in Montrez whenever you're giving LeBron a breather. That way you're getting hustle out there and you getting somebody that's gonna fight and give it they all on the boards. And then of course Drummond can come in for Gasol. Now you're talking about a star caliber player coming in off the bench, and by this time, if Gasol is getting a breather and Ayton is up here playing 38 or 39 minutes, then you got a fresh Drummond on him. Now with Drummond coming in off the bench, being fresh, then he can pretty much control or contain Ayton from going off on the offensive end. And then of course you can stagger some of LeBron's play in there to get Drummond some easy looks from down in the paint. But to think that the Lakers cannot win without Anthony Davis, to me, is absurd. I know people like Broussard and other people, well, the Lakers are only 7-7, but they're not taking into account a lot of those games without Anthony Davis. When LeBron was leading the way, you had other multiple injuries and COVID illness where Schroeder and other people were out, and you were just expecting way too much. But I'm saying with LeBron, with a healthy LeBron and Marc Gasol, Caruso and Schroeder playing well, then they're more than capable of winning the next game and winning the series. Because even though Anthony Davis is day-to-day with the groin, thank goodness it's just a level 1 strain, which is usually keeps you out from 7 to 10 days. So I would say rest him at least the next game. If he feel like he can go after that, on that Thursday night, then let him go at it. But I would say no, you just need to hold him out, and the Lakers need to figure out a way to win, and they need to win these next 2 games and try to have Anthony Davis available at some point during the series between Denver and Portland. Whoever comes out the top on that, which I thought it was going to be Denver, but lo and behold, the Portland Trail Blazers are playing pretty damn good, and it would actually be a better matchup really for the Lakers if Portland were to win that series. So if you're a Laker fan, you probably need to be pulling for Portland, because to see Jokic and company against the Lakers without Anthony Davis is going to be a tall task for the Lakers. But I still think they're more than capable of winning, just because Marc Gasol can guard Jokic. He can't stop him. Nobody can really stop Jokic, but he can slow him down, and he's still capable of spacing the floor. And spacing the floor, you guys, I'm telling you, is very important, not just for 3-point shooting. Who gives a damn? Because I don't want the Lakers to fall into the trap of shooting all these threes. The floor spacing is to get the lanes available to get into the paint. Because when teams pack the paint, then you're not going to see LeBron James. Majority of LeBron James is predicated on getting to the basket. So you need LeBron James getting to the basket. Ain't no way LeBron James is going to be getting to the basket if Andre Drummond is in the game. I'm just going to be real, because if Andre Drummond can only play in that paint, that's the only place he can play. And with him down in the paint, then guess who else is going to be down there in the paint on him? Ayton. So then you got 2 big bodies down in the paint, and you expecting LeBron to drive down to the paint. So if Ayton comes off his man, if LeBron beats his man off the dribble and Ayton does come off his man, maybe he can dish it over to Drummond. But that's usually not the case, because by that time, Ayton is going to put up a shot that's going to actually, deter LeBron James, or mess him up from actual. Oh man, it's going down out here for Memorial Day. Let me get on down away from here, y'all. But anyway, I'm just saying. That's going to be a tall task. So at the end of the day, you need to spread the floor, you need to space the floor, and you have to do that by letting Marc Gasol start. And I'm telling you right now, if Marc Gasol doesn't start that game, it could spell trouble for the Lakers. So I'm just hoping with Frank Vogel at the end of the game, he saw the lineup that was bringing him back in the game. And at some point during crunch time, yes, have Schroeder and Caruso on the floor together. You know, if it's the last 7 to 8 minutes of the game and they've been rested properly, then have Caruso, Schroeder, LeBron, Wesley Matthews, and Marc Gasol all on the floor together, because Wesley Matthews is going to give you the defense on Booker. Caruso needs to, I think, play defense on Chris Paul in that rotation on the defensive end, and then that's going to allow Caruso not to exasperate himself trying to guard CP3 on the other end, and then he can maybe play the off guard. He can defend the off guard. But at the end of the day, you know, Cam Payne is playing good, but other than that, the starters of Phoenix, nobody's going off. Devin Booker's not exploding for 30 or 40 points. They beating you the good old-fashioned way with everybody having double digits. And, you know, I think with all that being said, the Lakers can easily still win this game. So if you want me to, it'll be tough for me to give you a prediction, because I'm not sure if KCP is going to be playing, and I'm not sure that Frank Vogel is going to start Marc Gasol. But at some point in the game, he's going to figure out that that's his best lineup. So with all that being said, I like the Lakers' chances with their back against the wall. And I know everybody's saying LeBron James is 36 years old now, but let's just remember his back against the wall game. Even in those Heat days when he had a D Wade and a Chris Bosh, they were down to their Boston team 3-2. And we all know what happened. So any game when LeBron James' back is against the wall, then that's going to be tough for the opposing team, because LeBron James is going to give it his all, and he might bump up his minutes. I personally don't want to see him playing over 36 or 37 minutes, to be honest, because then you're asking a lot of him for the next game. I personally don't want to see that. I think the Lakers can still win this game with LeBron James playing 34 to 35 minutes, to be honest, if they do the lineup correctly, because all these shots is not going to continue to fall for the Utah Jazz. All of those shots are not, damn, I'm thinking about the damn Memphis game tonight. All these shots are not going to continue to fall. And speaking of that, all those shots that the Utah Jazz did hit, all those threes the other day, they're not going to continue to fall, even though that's who they are and they hit threes. That's what they do. I'm just telling you what, but we can chime in more about that later. So I'm not going to keep rambling on and on about what the Lakers need to do. But one thing that's for certain is LeBron James needs to get more aggressive. He needs to take more shots. He needs to get to the line a little bit more. I can't remember how many shots he's been averaging this series, but LeBron James needs to get up about 22 to 24 shots. I don't want to see 15 shot attempts. I don't want to see 12 shot attempts. I understand you're trying to get people involved, but now it's time for you to take the series by the horn. And I know a lot of people are sad, and I know it's a lot of people out there that got their heads down. But let me tell y'all, don't worry. You need to rejoice in this, because now everybody is going to get to see why LeBron James is the GOAT. Everybody is going to get to see exactly what he did. And if you remember what he did by dragging that Cleveland team in 2018, and I know people say, oh, well, they had more shooters, oh, they weren't going against this tough competition, but Toronto was the #1 seed. They did have DeMar DeRozan, and they did have Kyle Lowry, who was playing exceptional basketball. So I know it's a different team, but the Lakers, even though they're not a better three-point shooting team, they ask more than capable of hitting the three. So they just got to stop playing like Rudy Poos, get out their damn feelings, and go ahead and start knocking down the shots, because you know LeBron James is going to do his thing. And I'm going to tell you, one person who's not going to shy away from it is going to be absolutely damn ready is Marc Gasol. And you can say whatever the hell you want to about Marc Gasol, but I know he is a ultimate competitor, and he is going to be ready to step up and hit his open shots when he's open to hit those shots, because that's just what he does. And you saw what he was doing and what he will continue to do. So if he gets the nod for the start, I'm telling you right now, the Lakers might just win by double digits instead of just bullshitting and starting to try to come back, because Frank Vogel doesn't know how to properly get the lineups. But anyway, as always, this has been your boy. And I'm going to touch on them Nets, y'all. The Nets doing their thing. Nobody really worried about that. And, of course, the Clippers much shout out to the Clippers because, you know, a lot of people was roasting them up and thought that series was over, but they came out and showed who they are, and I actually think the Clippers going to win the next 2 games easily. I don't see them folding at this point. They come up with a recipe of what they need to do to be able to beat the Dallas Mavericks. So with that being said, the Clippers are going to take care of that business, and they are going to win, and then you're going to end up getting to see that Lakers and the Clippers matchup that everybody been wanting to see in the Western Conference Finals, because we couldn't have it any other way. So I'm telling you right now, go ahead, and the Lakers might be the underdogs. Put your money on the Lakers on this next game, because it's no way in the hell they're going to go out. And people say the Phoenix Suns is just that much of a better team, but I'm telling you right now, LeBron James led team with their back against the wall is not going to lose a series to the Phoenix Suns with or without Anthony Davis. And I'm telling you that right now. So as always, enjoy your day, your weekend, positive vibes to everybody, and right on to the real, and much love to the haters. I'm out.